If you are involved in the Wuthering Waves community, or maybe punishing Grey Raven before it, chances are you know the name Narushio. For a long time, his channels were basically unavoidable if you were looking for news, updates, or character showcases. He was seen by a lot of people as the guy, a central hub, always posting the latest stuff, seemingly really dedicated. Some might even call him an angel for the community, always helpful. He put out guides too, although, as we will get into, the actual quality and the accuracy of those guides have been seriously questioned by people who actually crunch the numbers and test things thoroughly. But that public image, that helpful persona, that is what most people see. For a while now though, a different story has been circulating behind the scene, and that is what we're going to unpack today. Let's be clear, this isn't about jumping on some drama bandwagon, because honestly, most internet feuds are just noise, right? This feels different. The information that has come out, combined with stuff shared with me privately from multiple sources, other creators, community members, points towards a consistent pattern. A pattern of deception, of manipulating people and situations, and frankly, causing harm. Harm to smaller creators, harm to the community's trust, and even harm to Kuro Games, the developers he claims to be such a big fan of. I have spent a good amount of time looking through public records, statements, videos from others, and reviewing private testimonies and evidence. My goal here isn't to point fingers randomly, it is just to lay out the evidence step by step logically, show you the pattern so you can see the whole picture for yourself. Putting all of this together took considerable amount of effort. It is not as easy as reposting other people's content, so if you find this kind of detailed breakdown valuable, hitting the like button and subscribing would be appreciated. It helps support the channel. And now the very start of this picture, the foundation, it begins with his name. Before he was Narushio, he went by Sain, X-A-I-N, mostly known in the PGR scene. The name Narushio itself wasn't originally his. It came from the Wuwa community, as a common though technically incorrect way to pronounce the Japanese name for Wuthering Waves, Meicho.
But Narushio used to be called Sain, X-A-I-N, that plays PGR. And ever since Wuthering Waves released, he rebranded himself into the Japanese name for Wuthering, called Narushio.
It became a widely used nickname for the game. So when Wuthering Waves started getting big, Sain changed his online identity. He became Narushio. Coincidence? Maybe. But as others like Rexlent have pointed out, choosing the game's own popular nickname looks a lot like a deliberate move, a way to seem almost official to catch people searching for the game itself. It is a branding strategy. He also used profile pictures like this one early on. It is not the official logo, but it is very close. Reportedly based on art commissioned by Kuro. Again, it blurs the lines. It makes you do a double take. It feels designed to make you think that it is official, even subconsciously. This wasn't just stumbling into popularity. From the very beginning, Narushio's public identity was built on a foundation of calculated deception. And let's look at how that foundation was used. So you have this brand, right? Carefully crafted to look almost official. What kind of content did it push? That brings us to the next layer. Narushio became known as a hyper reposter. Essentially, his channel largely consisted of taking content from elsewhere. Official trailers, developer updates, Billy videos, often from Chinese sources, and simply just re-uploading them. Sometimes with subtitles, sometimes just as is. He was acting more like an archive or a newswire than someone making original content. And now, some might argue that aggregating content is a useful service, especially for bridging the language gap. And maybe it was, initially. The problem emerges when you examine how this model built his channel and who it benefited. Data compiled by OFA highlights something interesting. Look at the view counts. Videos where Naru just reposted official OSTs or trailers pulled in hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions of views. His videos where he actually tried to create something himself, like talking over gameplay, they often struggled to get more than a few thousand views. This suggests the channel's massive reach wasn't built on him or his unique insights. It was built on people mistaking his channel for an official source, or at least the fastest source, for content made by Kuro or other creators. And this wasn't harmless. Take the official soundtracks. The music video for With Glory I Shall Fall. The official upload has around 5.6 million views. Naru's repost of the same OST, 1.5 million views. And how about Ode to a Nameless Martyr? 1.3 million on the official channel and nearly 500,000 on Narushio's. He effectively siphoned off roughly a third of the potential audience from the official source, directly impacting Kuro Games. And for what? Uploading the music with maybe some cutscenes in the background? Compare that to someone who actually actually put in effort, making a well-timed lyrics for the same song, or maybe reviewing it entirely. They got less than half of the views that Naru did, not even a quarter of it. His success wasn't rewarding effort, it was rewarding the appearance of being official. This way of leveraging his platform extended to direct monetization. The most blatant example is the paywall incident. At one point, Naru put official live wallpapers, assets made by Kuro Games freely available, behind his YouTube channel membership paywall.
So look at this. Do you have those movement wallpapers in Wallpaper Engine, Live 2D wallpapers? Please, I want them. I do, but you have to join channel membership to download all Live 2D wallpapers. It's something I like to offer to all members who join the membership to support me.
You had to pay him monthly to access free game assets. He was selling something that wasn't his, something the developers gave to the community freely. This fits with what smaller creators experience too. Neuros shared an account of Naru offering them work, helping with thumbnails, not for payment, but for exposure. Using your platform to get free labor is common, unfortunately, and Neuros saw it as a part of Naru's e-begging personality. It all points to someone consistently trying to extract value, money, and views, free work, often under questionable pretenses. These actions didn't go unnoticed forever though, because eventually things came to a head publicly, primarily through Rexlint. Rexlint isn't just some random person. He has been a pillar in the Kuro Games community for years, an official content creator and ambassador. His opinion carries weight. During one of his streams, when asked about Naru, he laid out his concerns. He covered the history, the rebranding from Sane, the deceptive name. He brought up Naru begging a Japanese player for PGR beta access, asking them to break TOS, potentially getting that player banned just for clout. He also called out the paywall incident, selling free official wallpapers. Later, Rexlint even had to debunk a specific lie Naru told when questioned about using different account IDs in his beta footage. Naru claimed that there were multiple CN servers that don't share, which Rexlint clarified was completely false, explaining beta servers actually work by cloning existing accounts. It showed Naru was willing to just make things up when cornered. The most revealing part of the initial confrontation though was Naru's immediate reaction after Rexlint publicly flagged the paywall issues in his Discord. Naru didn't address it publicly at first. He sent Rexlint a private DM. According to Rexlint, the message was essentially, "You should have told me this privately instead of making it public." Think about that. His first instinct wasn't, "Oh no, I made a mistake. Let me fix it. Let me apologize." It was, "Why did you expose this where everyone can see it?" The priority seems clear. Control. He wanted criticism handled in DMs, behind closed doors, where he could manage it, maybe talk his way out of it, perhaps pressure the person into silence. Anything but public accountability, am I right? It is about containing damage to his image, not fixing the wrongdoing. Now, after Rexlint's stream brought this into the open, Naru clearly felt cornered and needed damage control. He released a long public statement, an apology post. And frankly, this post is a masterclass in manipulation. Let's break down some tactics, okay? Regarding the paywall incident, publicly Naru claims, "I really didn't know adding game assets is illegal until that a creator pinged me, and I did right away." Notice what is missing? He completely omits trying to hush Rexlint into DMs. He reframes getting caught as just an innocent mistake corrected by a helpful peer. It is gaslighting by omission, pretending a key part never happened. And then there is the blame shifting and constant claims of ignorance. The name Narushio, "Oh, he is just bad at nicknames, and his fans told him not to change it." Well, how about the copyright strike? He didn't know how badly it would harm the channel. How about the paywall? He didn't know it was illegal. How about asking the JP player to risk their account? He didn't have any ill intentions. And suddenly, everything was just an innocent misunderstanding or someone else's fault. It is so convenient how you know absolutely nothing, while also being in the space for years. And next, the victim shield. Multiple times, he brings up people being racist towards him, or mocking his accent right along criticism of his actions. Racism and mocking accents are wrong, absolutely. But notice how he uses it. He mixes legitimate criticism of his behavior, lying, monetization, with prejudice. The goal appears to be making critics look like bigots, guilt-tripping them into silence. And finally, the just DM me trap. He ends inviting criticism. "If I did something wrong, you could just DM me and I will accept it." Telling people to say it to my face. Sounds reasonable, right? Except, as multiple people have have testified, Naru's response to criticism, he doesn't like it often. He just blocks them. This open invitation is effectively meaningless when he preemptively silences dissenters. Like, how are you gonna invite criticism to your DM so you can block me? We know this apology wasn't sincere, am I right? I mean, come on. Even after Rexlent's video exposed testimony from a Chinese creator saying Naru didn't always ask for permission after the first time, look at this later comment from Naru. He's still publicly claiming that he genuinely doesn't remember ever doing that, putting the burden back on the accuser. The deception continued post-apology. Perhaps unsurprisingly, shortly after this statement, Narushio's official PGR content creator role was revoked. The timing suggests the blatant manipulation in his own apology might have been the final straw. They likely saw what many saw, not a genuine remorse, but a performance. But Naru's public performance is only half of the story. To understand the full picture, we need to look at how this behavior plays out behind closed doors. Narushio's public manipulations are damning. The evidence indicates this reflects how he treats people privately, especially those who challenge him. Let's peel back that public mask. One of the most ironically telling things was that this disclaimer he used on his videos, all content creators can use my video footage but credit me. This, from someone whose channel was largely built on reposting others' content, even without clear permission, and even distributing leaks. The lack of self-awareness is impressive. He wasn't just making empty threats either. Ask Jakazin, another content creator. Jakazin used a small uncredited clip of Naru's no commentary beta footage as a background B-roll. Naru found it and issued a very stern ultimatum: credit or delete. Jakazin complied, but replied with annoyance at the aggressive tone. Naru's response? He took a screenshot of only Jakazin's reply, poorly censoring the name, and posted it into his large Twitter following. He put Jakazin on blast, removing the context that Naru initiated the hostility. Other creators even criticized Jakazin based on Naru's post. Jakazin felt scared and pressured into DMing Naru to apologize just to stop the situation Naru created. Even then, Jakazin described Naru as hostile and arrogant. Narushio did go on to copyright other small creators' channels too, an action, as creators like Kazahana explained, that seriously harms a channel's visibility, far beyond a simple takedown. He did this over his low-effort, no commentary footage, or re-uploaded official trailers. It looks less like a protecting creative work and more like a power trip, punishing perceived slights harshly. This tactic, weaponizing his audience, wasn't a one-off. There was another incident involving his friend posting about a ship. Someone replied critically. Naru jumped in, publicly tweeting to his thousands of followers, "Can everyone please report this account for harassment?" inciting a mass report over a shipping disagreement. He later deleted it, claiming poor wording, and posted about how nobody should be harassed for opinions, apparently missing the irony. Worse, after facing backlash, Naru promoted a browser extension to mass block entire communities they deemed toxic, trying to silence the very people calling them out. It is a clear pattern: lash out, face consequences, play the victim, and then shut down criticism. This lack of integrity extends to the very content Naru presented himself as an expert on, his guides. To understand this, we have to look at the testimony of 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁, someone who DM'd me privately. 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁 is an official helper in the Punishing Grey Raven official Discord, a high-level player who, for a time, actually tried to collaborate with Naru to fix his videos. 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁 detailed how Naru's entire operation was built on shaky foundations, consistently using unreliable sources. For example, he relied on a Kuro-affiliated site for his info. 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁's direct words on this were, he shows his main CN source, which is Kuro-affiliated, which means it's garbage. Cause if you see the in-game builds, compared to tested by good players, Kuro has no clue on what they're doing. So when he shows this site with all of the shoddy info, I immediately tell him that it's garbage. He still uses it despite me telling him this. Lamau. According to 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁, Naru just kept using the bad source anyway. His priority was getting videos out fast, not getting them right. This carelessness meant he was clueless about fundamental game systems. 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁 mentioned Naru didn't even seem to understand a basic mechanic like infinitas, asking questions that a supposed guide maker should already know. But the worst example of this was the Selena guide. 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁, as his collaborator, watched the video after it was published and found a massive fundamental error. In 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁's own words, he made one huge massive big mistake. He said that Pianissimo uses signature move and not core passive, which is a massive F up because her ultimate actually hits like an effing pool noodle. All her damage comes from her core passive. This is a night and day difference that would completely mislead any new player. When 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁 confronted corrected Naru for this mistake, Naru's response wasn't, "Oh thanks, I will fix it." It was pure gaslighting. He replied with a simple "I gave you the notes," a subtle dishonest way to shift blame back into 𝗖𝗍𝗃, as if 𝗖𝗍𝗃 had failed him. And this wasn't a one-time thing. Naru's misinformation extended to the most critical time-sensitive content, beta patch notes. He incorrectly reported a Bianca animation was removed. When the community on Reddit corrected him, he didn't take the L, he played the victim, claiming people misinterpreted him. He made more mistakes during the Veronica beta. 𝗖𝗍𝗃, fed up with the constant, harmful misinformation, finally called him out publicly in the official PGR Discord for getting beta notes wrong. Notes that, as 𝗖𝗍𝗃 put it, the game effing documents for you. Naru's response to being held accountable by his own collaborator, he blocked him. 𝗖𝗍𝗃's conclusion, Naru harms the community by spreading misinformation, all while posing as a reliable source. And this is where it gets so bad, because perhaps the clearest window into Naru's private behavior comes from Mimic Souls, another creator once in Naru's friend circle. Mimic shared a detailed account with screenshots. It started with Naru condescendingly dismissing Mimic's private opinions on Wuwa's story, accusing him of making things up. And then came meta arguments. When Mimic corrected Naru on factual error with Ruth, Naru responded with sarcasm. Sure, king of guides. Things escalated when Naru shit-talked Mimic behind his back over a build disagreement. When confronted directly, Naru became aggressive. He deflected. He became hostile, resorted into insults like STFU, and then F off, demanding Mimic to apologize, and ultimately blocked Mimic, trying to frame Mimic as the aggressor. In private DMs shown by Rexlint from around this time, Naru was seen calling other creators, including Rexlint himself, the R-word and a piece of doo-doo. A stark contrast to his public pleas for civility. "Oh, you shouldn't cover drama. Oh, I'm so good, I'm such a good boy." And after this blow up, when Mimic ignored him, Naru then went into full victim mode. "Why is he ignoring me? Oh, why is he ignoring me?" He messaged others, painting Mimic as overly sensitive, leaving out his aggression. He even suggested Naru's different opinion might have hurt him. Textbook gaslighting and guilt tripping, twisting reality to make himself the victim. This behavior got Naru banned from that private server. His reaction? According to Mimic, he privately harassed multiple members, demanding they get him unbanned, while insisting he didn't know what he did wrong. "I didn't know." Mimic also mentioned that Naru even insulted his girlfriend when she tried offering him constructive art tips, showing disrespect even towards those trying to genuinely help. Mimic's conclusion is blunt. Narushio, behind the scenes, is a condescending, narcissistic asshole with a very big facade. This is the angel behind the scenes, guys. This is the Wuwa guy, guys. Condescending, aggressive, manipulative, unable to take accountability, and quick to play the victim. With all of this laid out, what is the takeaway? Let's recap the pattern, right? A brand built on deceptive foundation, a content model based on exploitation, reposting, siphoning views, potentially misleading donors, asking for free labor, public manipulation when confronted, gaslighting apologies, blame shifting, victim playing, private abuse, documented gaslighting, guilt tripping, condescension, aggression, silencing dissent, and all while posturing as a supporter. Eventually, there were consequences. His actions got him blacklisted by Wuthering Waves. After his manipulative apology, his official PGR content creator status was also revoked, a decision which, according to reports, led to some of his ardent supporters to harass the PGR Discord moderators, demanding explanations and forcing them to slow down chats. Despite this reaction from some fans, the consequence stood. He is now effectively cut off from the official recognition in both major Kuro communities. His response? Not a genuine change, it seems, but rebranding, changing his name from Narushio to Naru, trying to shed away the toxic Narushio reputation. It looks like an evasion, not accountability. And look, this wasn't just about drama. It was documenting a sustained campaign of deception and manipulation by someone who abused community trust for clout and personal gain. He consistently prioritized his image over ethical behavior, accuracy, and the well-being of others. He is not the victim here. As Rexlint aptly put it, he operated less like a community member and more like a politician who finally got exposed. Where does that leave us? Hopefully, a bit wiser. The content creator space, especially around new games, can be volatile. It is important to be critical about where we get information and who we support. Integrity matters. Accountability matters. Basic respect matters. We shouldn't tolerate content creators who bully smaller channels, who manipulates their audience, or actively harm developers through leaking. Instead, let's try to foster a community that values honesty, effort, and constructive engagement. Support creators who are transparent, engage maturely, and contribute positively without these tactics. Ultimately, we all shape the community we want around around these games, so let's aim for one that is healthier, more supportive, and less susceptible to the behavior examined today. But that is all from me, 𝗖𝗍𝗆𝗆, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers!